That's one way to inspire.
Captaincy 101 there.
Yeah, management by fear. Yeah, works every time.
Sorry, I can't possibly play today.
You prick. That's Henrik.
That's
Henrik.
yeah.
That's Henrik. That's Henrik. That's Henrik. That's Henrik. Probably another Henrik. Was that your one?
Oh, yeah.
And that one's your one as well, isn't it?
Hi boys, welcome back to Live from the Locker Room with Majestics. Yeah. Time to go again.
Hi boys.
After the success of last time, thought it'd be good to get together and have a chat about this week in the Team World Championship. New format, very different format for us for this week, and a big and exciting week. But just before we go in there, regular season's over. How was Jeddah?
Hot.
Very hot.
It's a good golf course. I always enjoy playing it. You have to expect, when you go there this time of year, really hot conditions. But I thought the golf course was in pretty good shape, considering what they have to deal with. You know, like, I think on the Monday we turned up, it was somewhere around 125, 130. So, you know, you try growing grass and the amount of water they must have to pour onto it is incredible. So, to get it into good condition, the greens are pretty good, and I quite enjoy the week. It's a good week to focus, and I like doing a lot of gym work that week, and trying to be professional, eat healthy.
And a big last round as well, 7 under par. That was.
Oh well, somebody had to carry the team, didn't they?
You know.
About time.
The old man had to step up at some point. Yeah, I'm in peak form now. The season's in full stop.
to go.
No, it's good. If we can, you can carry that on for another couple of days. That'd be good before.
I'll try my best. Yeah.
All right. Sounds
Well,
good.
a couple of years would be nice.
Yeah, a couple of years would be good. Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
A couple of days off, travel back. Everyone feeling.
I think.
Ready to go.
I think the positive. Obviously, it's going to be the same for everyone. Came from halfway across the world to come here to Miami, but I think the big thing is when you're traveling westbound. At least you're waking up early, feeling reasonably fresh in the morning, and you might be a little early to go to bed, but it's definitely easier coming back this way. So I think we should be ready to go on Friday.
How's the whoop looking, Pulse? There's a bit of a whoop drama, wasn't there, on Thursday? Where you was nearly dead.
Well, he's Lee, like, I mean...
Oh, I've got 1% recovery. I can't possibly play today. I'll wring my shirt out for you just to show you. Get a drip in me. No, one in each arm.
You prick.
The whoop looking better now. That's the
You can
important.
all off. I went very well last week. Bollocks to you.
Are you all right now?
No, and a year ago I was fucking sick there as well, so bollocks to you. Before you carry on.
Are you alright? Do you need a hug?
No, you can
Right, enough messing about.
Got more than 1% battery on the camera. Yeah, good. All right.
I did have a 93% recovery sleep last night, so I'm alright.
No,
Good.
There you go.
Good man.
Good now.
Good man. So,
excellent.
Team World Champs this week, different format, completely different format, nothing like we're used to playing. 4 teams getting a bye, 8 teams playing Friday. Looks like we're going to be playing fireballs in the first round, and a big opportunity for us to, make what's been a relatively disappointing season something that's actually something to celebrate. So,
Yeah.
how's everybody feeling about it?
Look, for me, it's all is not lost, right? I mean, we haven't collectively played well enough this year. I think that is,
Obvious. Yeah. Obvious.
obvious, number one, and it's disappointing, right? But if you go into this week with that mentality, you got a problem, because all to play for this week. We got 2 matches. Let's hope we advance, on Friday morning, Friday afternoon. You go out on Saturday and you win your match, and all of a sudden you're in a position collaboratively of 4 guys to go out there, play well on Sunday, and all to play for. You can still take the main prize. When does that normally happen? When you're in a league situation where you're that far down the other end of the leaderboard, feeling disappointed about the season. So, I think collectively we need to feel all of our games we know are good enough. Lee's out there shooting 7 under par last round of golf. Henrik's played the best golf of all of us this season. I've played super steady. Sam's back, fresh, fit, and healthy, and playing some solid golf. So, I think we got to look at this as a massive opportunity this week to actually go out there and have a week, as they say.
Yeah. The flip side is, if you've come 5th, I mean, you've had a pretty good season, right? You've played well. I don't know exactly what results. I think it was Stingers have come 5th, but on the flip side, they've got no advantage versus us now in terms of going into that. So I guess the flip side of looking at it is that clean slate and not much disadvantage going into the week.
Yeah, it's an interesting format, isn't it? How you get a massive advantage if you're in the first 4, but not much of an advantage at all if you basically get to, if you're 5th to 8th, you basically get to pick, and when you pick, you wind the other team up because they think that the other team fancies playing against you, so it's almost a disadvantage.
Yeah.
So and then if you do get through to Sunday, for a chance of winning it, the 4 scores to count is going to be massive, isn't it? There's going to be some serious, especially around this golf course, you're really going to have to step up and hit some proper shots.
So we obviously know top 4 teams get a bye. Bottom
So
8.
this is going to look like it's your idea now too. Okay, I'm just checking.
Yeah. Sorry, Henrik's had a really good
That's why you're
suggestion.
the captain.
We know top 4 teams get a bye. 5 through 12 will play an extra day on Friday. The other big difference this year is that if you do get knocked out on Friday, or if you do get knocked out on Saturday, you're still going to come back and play on the Sunday. Whereas last year we only had 4 teams ultimately playing on the Sunday. Still all forced to count the same as this year, but something more to play for the guys that get knocked out, and ultimately will be placed 1 through 12 rather than tied 8th or tied 5th, etc. What are your thoughts on that? Seems like a good idea.
Yeah, and something more for the fans on TV and here on site to watch as well. Rather than having just 4 teams to watch, they can watch the other teams, and we're actually playing for something still as well.
Yeah.
It was one and done last year. If you lost your first match, that was it.
Yeah.
You were finished. I think. To be here for all week, and you got guys and fans that have paid for a ticket for all week, and they see their player for 15 holes, say, and that's him done, or it feels the right thing to do. I actually quite like it. You have got more of a prize purse breakdown split the way that it kind of flows its way down. So even whoever loses that first match has still got an opportunity to almost double their money if they play well on Sunday.
Yeah, you've almost got 3 flights get created, right? So on Sunday there'll be 3 flights going out to play for 1st to 4th and 5th to 8th and so on. And I think last year if you get knocked out, obviously you don't get to play, but also tied 9th. I think there's still going to be some interesting storylines from a fan and a TV viewer perspective, because listen, no one's going to want to come last in their flight, let alone last in the tournament. So although I'm sure the guys that get knocked out, there'll be some, the sort of adrenaline will get dropped out, but would pick up again on the Sunday when you're going out to play.
You've also got guys in this position as well that it's their last week at Live.
Yeah.
Right. So if one of those guys or one of those teams finds themselves getting knocked out, and not only are they knocked out, one of the players knows he's not coming back to play Live next year, he's going to be a bit disappointed. So
all for the guys in that kind of danger zone that have got a chance to go and win a couple of big matches or do something, and actually if someone's thinking about them, it's another chance to put your name out there, I guess. And
spicy, as we say.
It will be spicy.
Think about that, Sam.
Thinking.
That's one way to inspire, isn't it?
Captaincy 101 there.
Management by fear. Works every time.
So a big part of the kind of fun and the interesting thing this week is the whole thing of teams picking teams, right? So I think 5th is picked 12th, so it looks like we've got Stingers against Ironheads, which I don't think will have come as a surprise to anybody. and then Fireballs, who are in 6th place, have looked like they've gone ahead and picked us. Surprised by that? Is that what you expected?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Maybe would have thought, with their track record in the Ryder Cup, maybe we would have fallen a little bit further down the pile. But I think we match up very well with them. Obviously Henrik's been playing solid golf. He's playing Sergio. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a good matchup for us, and hopefully we play well.
It was a little bit of a surprise to me as well, I think. I think last year, so if I remember rightly last year, I think Bryson's team, Crushers, were the only ones that kind of went out of order in terms of, 5th picked 12th and 6th picked 11. And I think Bryson, I want to say maybe picked Stingers, I think.
Yeah.
He kind of went out of order because he thought he'd worked out on the stats and lost the match, right? They lost, so it didn't work out on that occasion. So I think maybe that spooked a couple of people into thinking, let's just go on form and let's just go on consistency.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Abanser and Carstairs have both played President's Cup, I think. Certainly Abraham.
Abe has. I don't know about Carlos.
I'm not sure if one two does.
Obviously, Sergio doesn't need too many lessons in how to do it.
No, I don't think so. I mean, we're all gonna have our hands full. It's there's no easy matches in match play, and
They'll have a bit of support down here as well. I mean, it's a predominantly Spanish team, I guess.
Yeah.
So
you look down the order of 5 all the way through to 12, and we were discussing it on the plane, and however it would have panned out, whoever picked who, you can turn around and say, there is no easy matchup in 5 through 12, right? It's 18 holes of golf.
Yeah.
It's match play. Anybody can beat anybody. That's why match play golf is so much fun, because on 18 holes you can have your day. And, we've seen it.
look at last week with the cleats. They've been kind of down around us on the order of merit all year, and then all of a sudden they have an 18 under final day
on Sunday
and move and finish third. So if you come up against them on a day like that, where they have a day where 2 of them shot 7 under, didn't they? And another guy shot 4 under. It's going to be tough to beat anybody, really.
You need two hot rounds of golf gets you in the mix, right?
Yeah.
So,
One hot round of golf can get you in the mix. There's been so many times this year where one of the teams shot 8 under and then they backed it up with a couple of 2 unders.
Yeah.
We've all shot like 1 under, 2 under consistently. We just haven't had that one round where we've shot really low.
Deep.
Yeah. Really fires you through.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think the other matchups that it looks like we're going to have are Smash and High Flyers. I think we've got Brooks versus Phil, and we don't know where else it is, and then Ripper versus
Cleeks.
So good matchups up and down. We know who we're playing. We know what we think our matchups are going to be. We're going to find that out in a bit. In terms of other matchups and predictions, maybe. So we've got Stingers playing Ironheads. We know Lou will be playing Kevin Na. What are your thoughts on pairings there? What do you think the South Africans or the Stingers will do against Ironheads?
I think the Stingers have had a decent year.
Yeah,
to be honest with you. I think they've all played pretty solid.
Very solid.
Again, in match play, you never know, but on paper, it's going to lead you to believe that the Stingers should be successful in that matchup.
No, I played with Louis last week as well, and he was playing he was golfing nicely.
Was he?
So
They'll probably go Ustays and Burmester singles, won't they? And then Grace, Schwartz, or Forster.
Do you think so?
I think so, yeah.
And Ironheads, though, I mean, obviously they had a challenge this season, but I think what
Scott
Vincent did last week, I mean,
Amazing.
I played with Kevin Na on Sunday. He played pretty nice too. He shot like 7 or 8 under too. Yeah, he played pretty nice.
So Kevin Na's got to play Louis, hasn't he?
Louis, Kevin.
I think they might put
Vincent
out in singles after what he did last week. I mean,
got 4.
That was really cool.
under the cosh, right?
That was really
to get
good
in
what
that
he
top
did last
24.
week,
I mean,
yeah.
that's got to be one of the performances of the season from him. Then we've got our matchup, obviously, and then I think we've got Smash High Flyers next.
Yeah.
So Brooks versus Phil, big, box office match there. But then who else do we think will we'll see pairings wise?
Smash.
I think Chase will be Chase and
Kokrak
in foursomes, and
Yeah,
then
we
Wolfie-
played them.
Wolfie
We
will
played
be-
them last year, and I think they're going to go the same.
I think they're probably going to
as
go the same, and then
Is that how they
Wolfie.
lined up?
Yeah.
Did they have Wolfie last
No,
in the team?
Wolfie was on Phil's team last year.
That's right.
Yeah. So and then
But Wolf, you'd say he's not a foursomes player necessarily, right? So you'd
singles.
probably put him out in singles and then keep the other two as they played last year. So I mean, there's a reason why teams are 5, 6, and 7, and why teams are 10, 11, 12. I mean, the season doesn't lie, right? And it's always going to be a little bit more of a heavy favorites in one end, but there's always going to be upsets. There's going to be upsets within the matches themselves, and team versus team, and obviously if there's going to be one upset, we hope that we're the one, right?
Absolutely. And then we got Rippers and Cleats final matchup where
I think
Cam's had an amazing season. Mine struggled a little bit, but Cleats have had a bit of a strong finish, haven't they?
For me, that would be like looking at it earlier. You would say that's again very heavily towards Rippers, but Cam might not have played as well the last couple of tournaments as it did earlier, and then all of a sudden Martin was playing
He played
the
decent
best
last week.
the best he's played I think all the year last
Well,
week.
GMAC shot 7
And
under
then
last round. Blandy's played solid
Blandy's
all
played
year.
solid all year.
Landy, G-Mac, and
Got something to prove.
Got 7 under last
Cheeseburgers
round.
played well on Sunday.
so all of a sudden you have the team that's arguably probably been the worst throughout the year collectively, now with
some real momentum going into
the best momentum or best form they've had all year going into this one, and maybe and then Cam would play the singles. Do you think Leash would play the other, and then have Morgan and Matt Jones in the foursomes, or do you think Leash would play in the?
Not really too
I
sure
reckon you
what they're
check
going
out
to
Jed
do.
Morgan, wouldn't you, in the singles? No,
Not sure what they're going to do.
Yeah, I don't know. That
probably a
one I
toughest
can-
one to predict.
Don't know about that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting matches.
absolutely.
Sure.
Let's talk about pairings, right? So again, one of the most interesting things of this week is we've got to figure out what we're going to do. We're in a unique position where we've got 3 co-captains who all arguably could be nominated to play singles for the whole week. Last year we went with, I think Paul, you were our captain last year, so were nominated to play match play the first 2 days. Henrik and Sam played foursomes, Lee played singles as well. We don't know who we're going to be up against. But having gone through what we went through last year, we'll obviously reveal our pairings here in a second. But I'm sure it was all on your minds a little bit in terms of how should we line up, etc. What were the types of things that you guys were thinking about in regards to what you think the best pairings are going to be for this group this week?
Singles, it doesn't really matter too much, does it? But I think the foursomes is the one that's hard to match, and I've always felt from playing in Ryder Cups, if you've got similar kind of games, play the same ball makes a lot of sense. I say similar kind of games, hit it a similar sort of distance, sort of similar stats, tee to green. Because you're going to get out of position in foursomes. It's a tough game to get your head around. So you're going to get out of position. So if you're out of position in places that maybe are familiar to you, then it's a little bit easier to gel as a foursomes player.
Yeah.
Singles takes care of itself, right? I mean, foursomes is the tricky format. I know from Ryder Cup experience, and Henrik does, and Lee. It's the one that can unsettle any team. But that will be a critical part of anybody's team this week, that they need to play well in foursomes in this first Friday, Saturday. So, it takes 2 of you out on the golf course, and there's only one point to play for. So, feeling comfortable in that format, realising that you might not actually be putting properly and have a meaningful putt for the first 6 holes for one reason or another, and then all of a sudden you get asked to hold that 4-footer that you really need to hold. So getting caught short-sided occasionally, because you're going to miss greens in this format, especially on this golf course in the wind, and feeling comfortable about having a tricky chip shot. It's a strange format that not everybody plays well in. I feel very comfortable playing it. I know Lee feels very comfortable playing it. I look forward to those types of challenges. Because it puts you under a good amount of pressure to be able to come up and hit the right shot at the right time.
So, with that being said, we can reveal then. So, Henrik, we've nominated you as captain for the week.
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk us through the lineups and then the rest of the pairings of the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think
Come on, captain.
I think it's been said already. So obviously, with me being the captain, I will play Sergio then, and then Sam will take care of the other single, and then we got the old guys here taking care of the foursomes. So yeah, it's just to see in a little bit here who are the opponents for these guys. I know I got my work cut out for me. Sergio needs no introduction, so yeah, I'm looking forward to the challenge. It's going to be a fun match, and I think we're just going to go out there and do our best and leave nothing out there. Really, it's the final event of the year, and we just gotta give it our best.
Yeah.
You're not going to leave any shafts out there.
Hopefully not.
Not on the 10th tee, no.
No, I'll hopefully bring them all with us.
Oh, you had a little misdemeanor last week, did you?
Oh yeah, just a little one.
What do you
The
mean
nice
last
thing was
week?
it
I've had
stayed-
misdemeanors my whole career.
That's the first one of the season.
I've had a diver here. I've had a diver here as
whole
well.
Sunday as well,
Yeah.
just in the ground,
Just
right
in the
there.
ground right next to the tee.
Somebody stuck it in the 10th tee like Excalibur.
It's like that sword that you couldn't get out the ground.
Very good, very good. At least it wasn't the golf bag. We've been trying to protect those golf bags all season
Yeah.
and done it
To
successfully.
be fair, it was a 3-putt, and then just like the forward had to give up. It wasn't even hit with. It's like
Try the logic of that, eh? 3 putts,
Three
breaks
putts
a
forward gone.
Right.
Yeah, which he leave
Give me one
driving
of those
accuracy
gloves.
with for the season. So
Yeah.
I think we did it a bit differently this year in terms of, I guess, the conversations that we went through in regards to how we pick these pairings. I think, Ollie and I obviously sat and kind of looked at some stats, and I think there's always that marriage. If you've got to look at the logic, I think, and the stats and try and apply some science to it, but then there's also a bit of art. I think last year we had a lot of conversations. It felt like to get to the place where we were going to get to. Whereas I think this year, for whatever reasons, we had a look, and we kind of went and spoke to everybody individually. And I think the good thing for me was everybody was kind of pretty much on the same page with it in terms of how to go about it, which is also good, because as much as the stats say what they could say, ultimately you still need to feel comfortable and happy across the board that actually, yeah, I agree, right? It's got to be worth something on the golf course. And like Sam, I know you played foursomes with Henrik last year, which was the right decision, or felt like the right decision at the time. We won our first match 3-0, right? But
Yeah.
a new format for you, and then back in singles this year.
Yeah. No, I think it's I haven't played much foursomes throughout my career. It's not something I feel like these guys have definitely done more of it, especially growing up in England and playing a lot more team golf than I did growing up. So I would say I feel a little bit more comfortable in the singles. Not that I felt uncomfortable last year, but just
I
going,
hope not.
just going out there and just focusing and just trying to beat the person that I'm playing, and just try to make as many birdies or par or eagle, whatever it may be, just to beat that person. I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Good.
Yeah.
And foursomes wise, I mean, the combination here also, I think, seems to work
Yeah.
really well on paper, because there's a few stats that kind of surprised me when I looked through it, actually. Henrik, I know you mentioned to me, I feel like I've got a good record in foursomes, but actually if you go back and look at the records, your winning percentages in foursomes is right in Ryder Cups. It's, I think, within 1 or 2% of each other. So like you've all had relative success, or a lot of success.
They
actually,
were
in
within
Ryder.
1 or 2% of me.
In fact, I think they were both ahead of you. I think you put all around 60% winning margin in foursomes
Yeah, don't go down that road, Henrik.
in Ryder Cups.
62 point something.
I had a
like that.
3% recovery though, so I'm still better off.
But I think on similarities of games, and then, I know you've not driven the ball as well as you probably like to have done this year, but actually, relatively speaking, you still hit it pretty straight versus the field. And Ian pretty much got the number one short game in Liv according to the stats. So again,
I missed so many greens. It's not
That's
difficult.
going to be
is it?
useful.
I'm trying to pay you a compliment now.
We were all thinking it. You just said it.
So have you thought about, with that in mind and how your games match up, similar games, have you thought about the golf course at all and which tees to go off and who's going to play what numbers and the logic behind that? Have you got into that at all yet?
We haven't had a chat about it yet. We will, obviously, because it's it's that type of golf course. I think where you boys will remember from last year, because you play foursomes. Obviously, someone takes more of the par threes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Odds.
Um,
So there's 3 par 3s on odds, yeah.
There you go. So we will have our sit down. We'll work out, who fancies what type of shot, or does it lend itself to more iron play into certain holes as opposed to wedges, and so we'll have a look at that and see which order we want to tee off. Come on Friday.
Yeah, you kind of make the plan after. This is how if we're playing well, it's going to look this way, and then obviously you can kind of look to see if it gets super windy. Okay, plan might only work out to 60%. So is it more bunker shots and chips on one end, or is it more long putting and back and forth? So you kind of make a best case scenario, I guess, and then more of a, okay, if it doesn't quite work out, does that change anything as well? But obviously it's normally the best case scenario that you base your plan on. And
I think someone gets the extra par 3, so they're hitting three of the par 3s, and somebody has a couple of awkward tee shots.
What did you do last year?
I took the par 3s.
You took the par
because Sam would drive it further than me,
Yeah.
and then
It was the
I guess
the par 5s, because I was hitting the drivers on the par 5s, I seem to remember.
try and utilize your length.
Yeah.
And
took
then
odds, didn't you?
iron play for me on the par 3s.
He took
Oh,
odds.
he took odds.
Yeah, except for number 1's obviously odds, but it was a short, so we could get there when Henrik hit his 2-shot.
How much of it would be on logic and then just comfort of shots? Because to me, looking at the stats again, like I would sit there and say, I mean, all the par 3s are pretty long around here, right?
They're tough.
formidable. So you would think, it's going to be hard to hit some of those greens. So my logic would tell me, best short game, let's put the guy in play that's going to have potentially more chips. So
You don't
therefore,
miss greens.
Lee would take the par 3s.
really
But is
short
it,
game.
how much of it is that versus actually I just fancy these shots more and this matches up more? Would you
Yeah.
say?
Well, I mean,
It's probably a combo, isn't it?
Yeah.
You kind of look at it. It could be that you're having 2 tee shots that you absolutely don't like because of your shot shape or
The wind or something.
whatever, and
Whatever
then
it
the
may
other
be.
guy might say, nah, I don't mind them. So then you might actually just go on the comfort thing. But most courses kind of have a little bit of a bias
Yeah, they-
one way or the other.
The facts enforce, like, you can't hide, right? You're always going to have a couple of shots out there on the golf course that you're going to find stressful, right? You have to pony up and hit a fantastic drive.
Yeah.
Whether that's down 18, whether it's down, look, this is a tricky golf course. It's going to be pumping 20 mile an hour wind like it does every other year. There's difficult par 3s. I mean, as you said, they're all over 200 yards. You're going to have a couple of tricky shots. So it's about being comfortable in hitting the shot when you need to hit the shot. And again, it's match dependent also, right? I mean, if you're up in your match and you're in a position where you don't need to be over aggressive, this is one of those golf courses where you don't want to over force it if you don't have to. So I think, for me, it would be not that you're just going to try and ease your way into a match. I would, on this type of golf course, I'd want to be as clinical as I possibly could be in the opening 6 holes to try and get hold of the match, which therefore eases you off to be able to not relax and take your mind off it, but relax yourself and
Get into the game and
Get into the
so
match
therefore
and stuff.
you control your match on this golf course. I think is a real key thing to be able to do. Because look, if you have to, if you have to stand there at a point and start being over aggressive and it comes off, great. But I wouldn't want to have to do it on this type of golf course.
Not
So
recommended.
I think they look. I mean, statistically, isn't it something like if you win the opening hole, you win 57% or whatever.
Is
It's
that
like
right?
it's quite a. Whoever gets like up early
That starts
normally,
big.
yeah, it's always important to get off too strong. Don't have to, but it's favourable to do
but
that.
match play holes delete very quickly on you, and it doesn't leave you a lot of time
Yeah.
to be able to claw yourself back in.
Yeah.
So
And
fast starts are good.
were you guys, so like for Sam Hemrick, in terms of preparation for the week, I mean, I guess it becomes pretty normal in terms of what you'll do playing singles. I guess in theory, if we are successful in day one, I think you do. I think I'm right in saying you have the option to actually change the pairings. Obviously, captain's fixed, so we could in theory change, but you have to have a pretty strong argument, I think,
Yeah.
to move away from your logic there. So let's say we're going to move forward for that. I guess prep's pretty normal. For you two guys that are going to play together, talk us through what you might look to do in practice for the next couple of days and how that may differ from what you would do during a normal tournament week. I mean, you're not going to go out and play foursomes, I guess, but you're going to go and...
No. Well, I think the thing is we've all played this golf course quite a lot. Certainly us three have played it quite a lot. And we'll have a fair idea before we even set foot out there who's going to take certain tee shots. There's certain tee shots you might not like. There's some tricky tee shots around here. I'm just going through it in my head there.
Yeah.
Three's a tricky
Three's a
tee
tough
shot.
tee shot.
18's obviously a tough drive.
Long par 4, long par 3. The fourth is a
Yeah.
good.
So
good tee shot.
if you take if I was to take the evens, then Ian obviously gets the first hole, which is a par 5, tough tee shot on 3, but then 3 of the par 3s after that, 9, 13 and 15. But I'd have the 18th but like I said earlier, both of our games are quite close together. There isn't a great deal of difference. We both drive the ball pretty well, both pretty good iron players, so we could almost really just flip a coin on the first tee.
And have you played foursomes together before? In any Ryder Cups?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Or Semi trophies or anything like that. I don't think. We do take these lads' trousers down every week in the little money match we have, don't we?
But you're not hitting.
I should have
We're
mentioned
not
that as a
playing
reason we
foursomes,
picked you
are
to
we?
pair, shouldn't I? That was
I
the
think
big...
that's Henrik.
That's got
Henrik.
Stenson on it. That one.
That's
there.
Henrik.
Let's sign
That's
that.
Henrik.
Yeah.
That's Henrik. That's Henrik.
The Crumbles from Bedminster last year, aren't they?
So we're sitting here right now. We don't actually know. So we know we're playing 5 balls. But we don't know, apart from Henrik playing Sergio, we don't know the matchups. What do you think, Sam? Who do you think you're going to have? Singles?
Tricora.
That's who you think you're going to
Yeah,
have?
that's what I think so. Yeah, and I think these boys will have Abe and Carlos, and then I think they match up really well with them. Obviously, crafty veterans over here, I like to call them. So I think we match up really well with them. Yeah.
How do you feel about the matchup with Eugenio? Have you played with him much?
Yeah, I
or-
played with him a little bit. Yeah, we played actually in Australia the last tournament before, obviously my hip surgery. We played the first round together there. I think I match up pretty well with him. I pretty confident going into it. I like my chances.
Do you boys think the same? Do you think that's how they'll
I
line
think
up?
so. That's how I'd go. Yeah.
That's what I would do.
I mean, you don't know the inner workings of a team, do you? But it would seem the obvious way to go. Abe, looking at his game, he's like the ideal foursomes partner, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he's got the old little Spanishy hands and
Yeah.
good short
Hardly hits it off
game.
line. Yeah.
And,
They changed them. I think they were Mexican before.
Mexican, I meant. Sorry. Does he speak Spanish?
See,
I played a lot of foursomes with Sergio.
Yeah.
Obviously, he won't be playing foursomes, but you might be able to give them some advice.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think with the format, it is an interesting one where a couple of people have grumbled a little bit around we've got 3 captains. Like, do you think it'd be something for Liv to think about moving forward, whether we can actually, should the captains have to play other captains?
I in this format, I think you should be able to pair anyone with anyone. I don't think lead guy should have to play lead guy if that is, you got 4 guys. This is a purely different week to any other week of the year, and I think you should not that you need to hide somebody, but you should be able to put someone wherever you want to put them.
Yeah.
Right. It gives a little bit more dynamic because again,
more curveballs, you would think, wouldn't
Yeah,
it, in terms
yeah.
of pairings?
I
And
think people can kind of guess who's going to play who in this format,
yeah.
right? So I think to mix it up a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, if
I
Captain
think
wants
so.
to go out in foursomes, let Captain go out in
Yeah,
foursomes.
like
I
if we
just,
were playing the Fireballs, then Sergio could play in one position. He could very well put him out in the foursomes, couldn't he?
it gives so many more options,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at their team, if I was going to put them out in their probably strongest format, I would go Carlos Ortiz singles, Shikara singles, and then Ants and
Even Serge together.
together in foursomes.
Yeah.
You would leave more options, and it would be more if you want to try and match your team up against another team and try and figure out what they're going to do and kind of try and play it out. Now we
More variables.
yeah,
right?
more variables. We're kind of stuck in a bit of a mold as we sit, even though we got more options than most that we can flip it around. But and then also that you want to be able to change it from one day to the other. So if you have a lineup on we would have liked to maybe change things up going into Saturday then if we're successful, but then you're not really going to change it because of that.
Yeah.
But so we'll see.
All right, boys. Well, interesting insights as always. Looking forward to the week. Let's hope it's a big one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers.